Hey yo, football fans, it's another great year. Fantasy football fiends, grab your beer. Giving you the best draft tips for all your picks. Starts and sits to the waiver wire fix. From my drafts galore to stats that's hardcore. Triple F does it all, have y'all screaming more. So sit back, relax, let the experts prevail. JT Magnum, Siggy Guns never fail.
What is up, fantasy football fans? My name is JT Magnum here along with Siggy Guns, and welcome to Fantasy Football Fiends Week 16, the playoff, your championship week. I mean, I don't doubt anybody's on Week 17, and we're not doing a Week 17 video because I doubt anybody is in the championship of fantasy football then, but this is it. This is your chance to win some money, your chance to win your championship, chance to win whatever it is you're trying to win. And let's get right into, I'm not going to talk about anything else but the show. I'm just going to talk about injuries first. DeMarco Murray, hand out. Well, we don't know if he's out actually yet, but we'll figure that out during the week. I doubt he's going to play, but we'll see. Julio Jones was out last week, surprisingly, and with a hip injury. And Frank Gore, concussion, going through the protocol. Not sure if he's going to play this Saturday. Keenan Allen is already ruled out, broken collarbone. Ryan Matthews was out last week. I'm not sure if he's going to play this week with an ankle. Kendall Wright, with his hand, was out last week. Percy Harvin injured his ankle, and Torrey Smith has a lingering knee problem. So that's pretty much it for that I know of for injuries. There might be more. We'll update them as the week goes on. Always check the description. We update as much as we can as we figure out more and more, who's going to be out or who's going to be in. So let's get right into the waiver wire pickups. Who's your waiver wire pickup of the week, or 3 waiver wire pickups of the week?
Obviously, Joseph Randle. We don't know about DeMarco Murray, if he's going to play or not yet. It hasn't been determined. Even if he does play, I mean, you got to remember, this guy, he's having a phenomenal season, don't get me wrong, but he's had fumbling issues. And even though it's his left hand, that's usually the hand you want to carry the ball in, and you use your right arm to stiff arm or stuff like that, depending on which side you're in. But either way, if he's always going to be forced to be carrying that ball in this broken hand, with the cast, his fumbling problems would just be magnified. So Joseph Randle would be a good pickup just in case. I don't think he's going to play the whole game. And then Toby Gerhart, Denard Robinson is another injury. That was one, or he got put on IR or something like that, so he's out. And Hakeem Nicks, Ty Hilton kind of tweaked his hamstring at the end of that game, so it looks like he's going to be getting more snaps.
Yeah, my waiver wire pickups are Carlos Hyde, obviously with Frank Gore going through the concussion protocol. Joseph Randle, and as well with the Cowboys, and Paul Richardson from the Seahawks. This is a guy that's been, like, the last few weeks been used more and more since the Percy Harvin trade, and he's been stepping up for the Seahawks as of late, and I really like this kid. They seem to be going more and more and more to him, especially in deep routes and slant routes, kind of using him like they were using Percy Harvin at first, but he seems to be holding up well, so that's a good pickup for you. Let's get right into the starts of the week. Who's your 3 quarterback starts?
I have Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, and Russell Wilson. And I'll go ahead and talk about Russell Wilson. He's playing Arizona, and I know Arizona's defense has been real good, but the quarterback situation mess. I have a feeling that offense is just not going to be out there long enough for that defense. They're going to get tired. They're going to get wore down. I imagine with Marshawn Lynch, they're going to try to establish a run early and then just really attack them and then use them at the end. I think that Seattle is poised to destroy Arizona, and I think Russell Wilson is going to be a big part of it with his feet and his arm. I think he's going to have a big game.
And the last time that Arizona played Seattle with Ryan Lindley at quarterback, I think it was a 58-0 win for the Seahawks. Let's talk about my quarterbacks. I have Matthew Stafford going against the Bears, Matt Ryan going against the Saints, Eli Manning against the Rams, and Matt Ryan, he's been off and on this year, but he still he puts up those big numbers, and against the Saints with that horrific pass defense, especially in the dome. Oh man, it's going to be a shootout, I believe, and you're gonna see Matt Ryan light it up along with Drew Brees. So I love Matt Ryan. Who's your 3 running back starts for the week?
I got C.J. Anderson, Isaiah Crowell, and Justin Forsett, and I'll talk about Crowell. Carolina has a real good defense. Manziel did not look good last week. I think this time they're just going to go ahead and run the ball more, and I think they're just going to keep pounding and pounding. Carolina's defense has been suspect. I know they're pretty good at home, but I just got a feeling Crowell is going to be able to get a lot of looks in the red zone, and I think he's going to be surprising with maybe 2 a 2-touchdown day. I got a feeling that he's going to be the guy for the Browns.
Yeah, my 3 are Alfred Morris going against the Eagles, Mark Ingram going against the Falcons, and C.J. Anderson as well going against the Bengals. And I'll talk about Alfred Morris. He always runs better when RG3 is the quarterback. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because they use a lot of the read option, and teams don't, teams can key on RG3 along with him, and so it's harder for teams to decide who's going to get the ball. But for some reason, Alfred Morris's rushing yards always just seem to go way higher when RG3 is in there. And of course, RG3 is starting this week, so I love Alfred Morris this week against the Eagles. Who's your 3 wide receiver starts of the week?
I got Macklin, I got Mike Evans, and Kelvin Benjamin. The rookies have been carrying your fantasy team pretty well this season, and it's going to continue. So I'll talk about Macklin. Macklin is starting to reestablish himself as number 1. Looks like Mark Sanchez is more comfortable with him again instead of Matthews. And against Washington's defense is just horrible. I got a feeling that it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I just think it's going to benefit everybody around the Eagles' offense. So Macklin's going to be a real good bet.
Yeah, my guy is Roddy White against the Saints. Harry Douglas also went down in that game, the last game. He did have a great game, but he had a little bit of injury concerns too, along with Julio Jones. So I like Roddy White against the Saints. Vincent Jackson against the Packers. It seems like Vincent Jackson is getting a lot more looks now that Mike Evans seems to be the guy that teams are keying on. And Kenny Stills going against the Falcons. He had a pretty good game the last week, but I mean, it seemed like the other tight end was getting the touchdowns for the Saints. But still, Kenny Stills against the Falcons, suspect pasty. I like his chances of getting a big game this week. So let's get into tight ends. Who's your 3 tight ends?
Yeah, Greg Olsen, Kobe Fleener, and Delaney Walker. Delaney Walker, I think he got a little hurt, but I don't expect him to miss time. He's going to play against Jacksonville. I got a feeling this game is going to be, it's the battle of the first-round pick. I don't think any team wants to win, but, they're not going to hear that. They want to win this game, both of them. So I think this game is surprisingly going to be pretty good fantasy-wise for some of these players in this game. I think Delaney Walker is going to have a big impact.
Yeah, my 3 tight ends are Antonio Gates going against the 49ers. 49ers are minus now Chris Borland in the middle. It doesn't look like he's going to play the remainder of the 2 games, so now they have another guy to plug in there to try to defend across the middle with Gates. Travis Kelce against the Steelers, and Jared Cook against the Giants. Giants always seem to give up a lot of yards to tight ends, and the way Sean Hill loves Jared Cook, I like his chances against the Giants. So let's get into defenses. Who's your 3 defenses of the week?
These 3 defenses, I think, are going to just light it up. New England against the Jets, Green Bay, and Buffalo against the Raiders. And, I mean, pick one of them. I mean, I got a feeling that these 3 are just going to destroy the teams that they're playing against.
Yeah, my 3 defenses are the Bills also against the Raiders. They've shut down Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers the last 2 weeks. No touchdowns for any of those. And obviously those are top 2 quarterbacks in the NFL. Patriots against the Jets as well. You're going to be a lot of turnovers there for the Jets. And Dolphins against the Vikings. I really like Dolphins with Teddy Bridgewater. He makes a lot of mistakes, and Dolphins can capitalize on that a lot. So let's get into the sit-em portion of the show. Who's your 3 quarterback sits of the week?
Cam Newton, there's word that he's going to come back this week. Sit him. You just can't trust him at this point, even if you're desperate for a quarterback. I don't trust him, especially against Cleveland's defense, which is pretty good. Jay Cutler, I mean, we saw how bad he looked, and he's playing the Lions now, and this is a division game. It's a rivalry. They're at home. I know Chicago is, but if they couldn't, they just looked pedestrian against the Saints, which really don't have a good defense, but they made their defense look awesome. Yeah. I just can't imagine them against a good defense like the Lions. And then Johnny Manziel, he's, I feel bad for him. We could blame the schemes, we could blame, the pistol offense or whatever they were trying to do. But against Carolina, I just think it would be more of a struggle.
Yeah, my 3 quarterbacks are as well. Jay Cutler going against the Lions. He struggled against the Saints defense. He's struggling. That whole team, that offensive line is just horrible. Look for the Lions to get a lot of sacks with their pass rush. Derek Carr against the Bills. He's been pretty good as of late, but going against the Bills, no. Russell Wilson and against the Cardinals. I know you had him on your start list. He's been struggling lately, and the 49ers actually had played a great game against them, minus a lot of players. And the Cardinals are relatively healthy in general, and their defense has been good all year, and I like them to, especially at home, to put a little stop to Russell Wilson's game. I don't think they're going to stop Marshawn Lynch, but I think they're going to stop Russell Wilson. So let's get into running back sits. Who's your 3 running back sits of the week?
Well, it's funny you just mentioned him. I've put Marshawn Lynch as the sit, Arian Foster, and Giovanni Bernard. And I'll go and talk about Lynch. The Cardinals' front has always been pretty good. And like I said, I got a feeling that he will have his turn late in the game, especially if they have a big lead. But I got a feeling that he's just, for some reason, I don't know if he's wearing down or what. He just hasn't been the same. He got a touchdown last week. I know he did that one series, was pretty good, but I don't know if I would rely on him because of the Cardinals.
Yeah, my 3 running back sits are Latavius Murray going against the Bills. I know Eddie Lacy got a few good yards early against the Bills, and they ran the ball pretty well at first, but then the Bills tightened up, and it just seemed like they couldn't do anything after that. Jeremy Hill against the Broncos. Jeremy Hill's been one of the hottest running backs in the NFL as of late, but against that Broncos run defense, I don't know how good he's going to do. And Matt Forte against the Lions. The Lions' run D is almost impenetrable. It just seems like you can't run against this Lions team. And Matt Forte, who struggled against the Saints. I mean, they were already down, so I guess you can't use him that much, but he just didn't have even a great game against the Saints. And I don't think he's going to do that well against a great Lions defense, especially that front 7. So let's get into the wide receivers. Who's your 3 wide receiver sits?
Got James Jones. He's been doing pretty good for Oakland. He's not going to do this week. Eric Decker against, Revis Island. Even if it's not against Revis Island, I don't know. He had a good game last week. I don't think it's going to be against the Patriots. And DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm going to talk about him. Hopkins is the only guy left for Houston Texans, but now with Fitzpatrick done and the offense, I got a feeling it's going to struggle, especially against the Baltimore Ravens defense. I just don't see him, getting anything. I think all the defense are going to key around him and Foster, and I just think Houston's just going to have a bad limp to the finish line.
Yeah, my 3 are Larry Fitzgerald going against the Seahawks, Michael Floyd going against the Seahawks, in case you decided not to sit there and have Larry Fitzgerald because you think the other one's going to do good. I don't think anybody's going to do good against the Seahawks this week, especially with Ryan Lindley playing quarterback for the Cardinals. And DeAndre Hopkins going against the Ravens. The Ravens' pass defense has actually been improving as of late, and the Seahawks' pass defense has been lights out as of late. The LOB is back, and they are like stronger than ever, it seems, and they've just been playing crazy defense lately. So I don't like the Cardinals. I don't even think the Cardinals, they get lucky if they even score. If they score, it's going to be on defense, if you ask me. So who's your tight end sits of the week?
Obviously, Vernon Davis. I think he's earned his spot for the whole season in the bench, so he's going to be one. Jordan Reed and Jordan Cameron. Obviously with Cameron back, I thought for sure that he'll be, benefit with Gordon back also, but Johnny Manziel struggling. That whole offense has been struggling for really the last 4 or 5 weeks, and it just, you can see it. I mean, Cleveland, they started off on fire, and now they're just falling apart, and against Carolina, like I said, that defense is pretty good, so don't play them.
Yeah, for my tight end sits, I also had Jordan Cameron due to the ineffectiveness of Johnny Manziel right now. I mean, he just doesn't seem, they're throwing him into the wolves right now, and he's going to learn. I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but not right now, and I think Jordan Cameron's going to suffer for it.
Yep.
Heath Miller against the Chiefs. Chiefs have been pretty good against tight ends all year, so I don't really like his chances going against them. And Charles Clay against the Vikings. The Vikings' pass defense is one of the best in the NFL, and they're doing pretty well. That's the one thing they can do very well. They're okay against the run, but against the pass they're pretty good. So I don't like Charles Clay's chances this week. Who's your 3 defensive sits of the week?
Arizona Cardinals. We're talking about Seattle offense. I got a feeling they're going to be doing good. Cincinnati against Broncos. I mean, obviously, even though Peyton Manning's been handing off the ball, he's been hurt. He's been having the flu. I got a feeling he'll be back this week. And the Dallas Cowboys against the Colts. I got a feeling this is going to be a shootout. Dallas has not looked good at home, and they've been prone to give up a lot of points at home. And obviously the Colts have a pretty good offense with Andrew Luck and company.
Yeah, my 3 sits are the Chiefs going against the Steelers. The Steelers have just been high-powered offense. Who would have thought Steelers high-powered offense, but they're just tough to stop, especially with running of Bell and passing Antonio Brown and Bryant. This is crazy how the Steelers can score in all different ways. And the Rams against the Giants with Odell Beckham Jr. and that rejuvenated Eli Manning in his offense. They've been playing very well, even though the Giants' defense sucks. The Rams, I think they're going to have a tough time stopping that Giant O. And the Bengals, obviously, against the Broncos. Peyton Manning's going to be up for that game. Bengals defense, I don't think, is ready for Peyton Manning and company to come to town. So let's get into the sleeper portion. Who's your 3 sleepers of the week?
I got Devin Hester. I got C.J. Spiller. He actually is eligible to come off the IR. He would be a sleeper, I think, especially, if they decide to use him against Oakland's poor, run defense. And I have RG3 as a sleeper. And, I mean, the Washington Redskins are horrible. We know that right now. But they are playing the Eagles, and they are at home. And I got a feeling if they do score a lot, RG3 is probably going to be the guy that's doing it. Especially he has motivation now. I don't know if you heard about the coach today. The coach pretty much came out and said that he was a horrible quarterback, RG3, and I think that's going to give him some motivation to play well this week.
I have to look at that. Did you hear about that? No, I'll have to look at that.
He said something like, it's important for us to get a big lead because RG3 struggles with reading defenses and throwing the ball. We don't want him to throw the ball or something like that. It was hilarious.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's going to be gone next year. So my 3 sleepers are Carlos Hyde against the Chargers. He's going to be probably most likely getting the bulk of the carries, especially with the 49ers really thin at running back. Jonathan Stewart against the Browns. The Browns' run D is not great at all. You saw Jeremy Hill run all over them last week. And Robert Woods, the receiver for the Bills, going against the Raiders. With them keying on Sammy Watkins, look for Robert Woods, who actually has not had bad games as of late. So that does it. That does it for the Week 16. Best of luck to everyone this year, and stay tuned for other shows that we'll be doing here on Magnum Sports Network. I know you follow us mostly for fantasy football, but we do other shows. There's Magnum Sports Rundown. There's the 4th quarter that we have to pick up on, and a lot of other stuff that we'll be bringing you in the future. Not sure how that's going to work, but we're definitely going to do some more shows for you. If you have any questions, always leave them in the comments. We will get to them as fast as we can. We will try to get to them as best as we can. And like I said, keep up to date on the comment section, because on Sundays I'm usually at church. But as soon as I get out, I hit Twitter and I hit YouTube immediately, and I immediately try to answer everybody's questions, even before I set my own lineups. So I try to do all that stuff for you guys. So best of luck again, and thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate all the support you've given us this year, and we hope to hear the good stories of you guys winning some championships, especially in the comment section. So you got anything to add before we go?
No, thanks to everybody, and it was a good season.
Yeah, great season. Hard to judge, but great season. Yep. So for Fantasy Football Fiends, JT Magnum and Siggy Guns, we out. Peace, y'all.
Peace.